Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. Today we're going to do a wear test using BeautyBlender's Pore Minimizing Primer. I got a sample through Sephora, and on the website, this is what they say the primer is supposed to do. The skin smoothing primer contains niacinamide to help blur the appearance of redness, large pores, and uneven texture. High-performance silicones glide over skin and create a humidity-proof barrier to minimize shine and lock makeup in place for all day or all night wear. Unlike other mattifying primers, the lightweight texture never feels suffocating on skin, and all your favorite formulas can be layered on without pilling. So why don't we look at the product itself. It comes in this small squeeze tube here. I think the amount of product in there is good for 5+ applications. I have it fresh on my face right now and I really didn't need that much. I would probably, probably squeeze a little bit more than that, but you get the idea. So this is what it looks like on the skin. This is the light to medium shade. They have another that's deeper here, but once you start blending out onto the skin, it kind of just disappears. I would say it adds like a touch of warmth, but it really disappears. The texture is silicone-like, but it's almost it's almost similar to even a night cream, like a moisturizer for your face for the evening. So this is what it looks like on my hand. Does not have much of a scent to it. And first impressions compared to other silicone primers I've used, like Smashbox, YSL Touche Eclat, Laura Mercier, and the texture of it is just a bit sticky or tacky compared to other silicone primers. My skin does look very smooth, and while we're at it, I'm going to take my YSL Touche Eclat primer just to do a quick comparison. Okay, so for YSL Touche Eclat, this is what I have here. I'm going to put it on my other hand. So the Touche Eclat is clear, and there are some gold or shimmery specks on it. It feels much lighter, but also much more maybe silicone-like than BeautyBlender. I think on camera you really can't tell much of a difference. The skin on this hand with the Touche Eclat also looks and feels very smooth, and the only difference visibly right now is that there's some color on this hand because the BeautyBlender leveler has color to it. Well, let's get on with the wear test. I will check back in after the first hour, and again in 5 hours, and then again in 10 hours. See you in a bit. Oh, I almost forgot. If you're interested in seeing how I got today's look, keep on watching from here. If not, skip on to about halfway where I should be doing my first check-in. guys, this is my first check-in. It's been over an hour and I've just come back from running some errands. Nothing really alarming. Everything's pretty intact. I will say though, I have some lines that are starting to appear here, and usually lines start appearing after a couple of hours. There's also a little bit of redness. Now, it doesn't feel itchy, so I can't tell you where that's from. I know I definitely haven't blown my nose or, put my hand on my face in the last hour, so not sure what's happening there. And then finally, I feel like I have lots of makeup on. I do have lots of layers on. You guys saw me put, a high coverage concealer, bronzer, the YSL All Hours matte full coverage foundation, so I do have all those layers on. But at the same time, those are products that I've used before or have been using for quite some time, so it is noticeable to me when something feels different. So I will say it feels like I have a few extra layers of makeup on than I usually do, when the only thing I've done different today is switching up the primer using the BeautyBlender one. Okay, so this concludes the first check-in. I'll be back in a couple of hours. We're back for the 5-hour check-in, and I just finished dinner. We're watching some TV. I would say nothing's really budged in the past 5 hours. There is oil coming through, and that happens no matter what primer I'm using. So there is kind of breakdown here. I can see some oil buildup from the chin. I do have combination skin, so my T-zone does get oily. So nothing you see here is, I would say, out of the ordinary no matter what primer I'm using. And after my first hour check-in, I'd gone about the day pretty normally, and it still felt a little bit, my face still felt a bit tingly, and I did at one point wonder if maybe I'm having some sort of allergic reaction, or maybe my skin is just sensitive to this primer, but that for the most part has gone away. And the lines I mentioned right here from earlier, I don't think they've deepened or creased noticeably more since then. I think overall that's a good thing. And because there is some color from the primer, I wondered if through oxidization it would darken my overall complexion, and I didn't notice that either. So that's positive too. And this concludes the second check-in. I'll be back in another 5 hours. Hey guys, this is the final check-in. It's been about 10 hours since I first applied the primer. Let's take a look. I would say the makeup for the most part has held on pretty well. More oil has come through, and that's to be expected no matter the primer. A lot of the oil you can see here, and of course the nose area. I would say, last thoughts, I would say this primer does well, like other good silicone-based primers. I don't think there's any performance here that really stands out from the rest, but it certainly doesn't fare worse than the others. I do think that it is pore minimizing. It smooths over your skin. I will say it still feels like I have additional layers of makeup on than normal, but the only difference today is I'm wearing this primer. The feeling is similar to when I wear Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Filter or Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I think maybe the similarities between the two is they're both pigmented. The Flawless Filter is actually not a primer or a BB cream. It's something you can wear under your foundation or on top for an added satin finish. But with Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Filter, it's not as creamy in texture. It's fairly liquidy, and compared to the Beauty Blender Pore Minimizing Primer, which is way more creamier, I think that's why this feels heavier than the Flawless Filter. Having said that, I do have other primers that I prefer more since they don't make me feel like that I have additional makeup on more than what I actually have on. So I think I will stick to those, but if you are looking for a good performing silicone-based primer that works pretty good throughout the entire day, I think you can definitely consider the Leveler. Earlier concerns in the first check-in where I talked about, some lines that were here, they actually didn't deepen or crease any further. So I think that's really a bonus. That's really positive. I think you'll get a lot of consistency out of the product. I hope you found this wear test helpful. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. I look forward to talking to you guys again next time. I am ready for bed. I'm ready to take this all off of my face and have a good night's rest. See you soon.